A very good morning and a warm welcome to you all. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Shaleen Bhatnagar and I am Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Presidency University, Bangalore. Today, we are presenting a webinar on video transmission over wireless LAN organized by IEEE Student Branch Presidency University in association with IEEE Bangalore section and Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Presidency University, Bangalore. By seeking the blessings of Lord Almighty, let's begin the webinar. Now I would like to request Dr. T.K. Thivakaran, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, to welcome the gathering.
Yes, thank you, Shaleen ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Sir, it's audible. Sir, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Shaleen ma'am, and thank you, Vinita ma'am. And on behalf of the Department of Computer Science and from our Presidency University, in association with the IEEE Bangalore section, I would like to invite our honorable speaker, Dr. Mayank, for his valuable presence for this program. Say like even during this particular condition of that corona period, and he has got some other commitment, he has given us concern to give the speech on this day. So once again, on behalf of the faculty, I would like to welcome you, sir. Please kindly accept our invitation. And moreover, I would like to thank and as well as to welcome all the participants from our department, even from other departments, to kindly go about with the session. And I think you can get the fruitful benefit out of it. If anything else, you can interact on research perspective also. You can try to extract the requirements from your side. And once again, I wish on behalf of all that the event to have a good success. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
I'm privileged to introduce to our today's speaker, Dr. Mayank Patel. Sir has been working as Head of Department, Computer Science and Engineering at Gitanjali Institute of Technical Studies, Udaipur, Rajasthan. He is having more than 15 years of experience in academics and research. To his credits, he has a patent. He has published 2 books and more than 36 research papers in reputed international journals and conferences. He and reviews Scopus Index journals. We are privileged to have you with us, sir. Before starting the session, I would like to request the participants, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them to chat window. We will have a question and answer session at the end of the session to answer your questions. We will send you all the relevant links after the webinar, including a link to the webinar recording. Now I would like to request Dr. Mayank Patel to start the session. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
First of all, my greeting heartily thankful to Thivakaran sir to invite me for a topic it is a very common topic nowadays, and I am grateful to you, Shaleen madam, for inviting me and giving me the platform to explain, to show the focus on the other domains of computer science also to the students. So without wasting the time, we will start the presentation. Is my screen is visible to all? Please?
No, sir, not yet. Not yet.
No, sir. No, sir.
Not
Not
yet,
yet,
sir.
sir.
Not yet.
Now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So our topic is video transmission over wireless LAN. It is a very common topic. Means suppose we are connected. I am seeing that we are connected. 60 participants are connected. So 50 participants are directly, indirectly connected to this topic. It is a. I generally say that it is a very common topic in IT domain, but it is very uncommon between among the students. So why it is uncommon, it is another point, and how it works, or how to transmit the videos or the wireless LANs. We will see I will show only the basics, fundamentals, what are the major constraints, major technologies we are using for transmission, the videos over the wireless LAN on the background or on the upfront for the customer supports. So we will basically go for how will the video selecting the video, what are the codecs and what are the protocols we will be using. So our topic is video transmission over the wireless LAN. So if you differentiate the word, the first word comes from the topic is video. So we should know how the video is transmitted over the wireless LAN. For it, see, this is, suppose if this is a hierarchy, keep remember this block diagram, because at the last of the presentation I will again explain this slide with the detailed parameters. So suppose if you are having original video, you are sending it to the encoder. I am using H.264. I will discuss what is H.264 later. So we need an encoder here, right? You encode your video into the binary stream. So if you think that you are taking a video in a ground or in a play group, in a playground and anything, you are just uploading on the WhatsApp, going to your friend, he or she is viewing that video, is simple as that? No. First, your video is encoded. So in market, where there are various encoders to encode your video. So your video then will be converted into the trace file. Trace file means it is in the binary format, and it will be sent to the nearly access point. Any access point you are using nearby your system. It might be the router in your premises or might be your the cell phone. So it will be transmitted to the wireless medium to any of the session. In this example, I am transmitting a video from any device to a laptop. So it will transmit it there. You have received a trace file that is in the binary form. So after receiving the trace file at the access point or at the destination, you will convert into decoder. Now we have to keep in mind that the compatibility of this encoder and this decoder must be the same. They both have to be in compatibility with this. Suppose if you are using a X encoder in the source point, then you cannot use the Y decoder in the destination point, because X and Y heads should be compatible with each other. So this decoder will decode the video you have originally sent. So mainly what we have to analyze or what we have to keep in mind, that is first here, what are the encoders we can use to the latest technologies. One, then this access point. What are the access point technologies we can explore to increase the video quality or to increase the video transmission speed. So if we are talking about the encoder, the same will be at the decoder, right? So if you are trying to transmit a video from one end to another end, the major two constraints are, you should be more clear about the encoder and decoder compatibility with you, and second, at the access point, which access point you are using. That access point can be a mobile, can laptop, nowadays the smart TVs, anyone. So If we talk about the video terms, what you should know in the video, the two basic terms in the video is the container and a codec. You generally heard that video container file formats MP4, WFV, and VLC media players. These are all the containers. Containers is what I will explain to you later. Container is what it is a combination of audio, video, and the subtitles. Nowadays, we are trying to put the subtitles in the video. So container is the combination of audio, video, and any information you want to provide to a single video. And codec is that the video you have produced, original video, that has to be converted into a digital, in the binary form. So the codec role is to convert the original video into binary format. The binary, and again, binary format should be converted into the original video, that is to be done by the decoder. So I will explain you with small videos when I require to explain you the term who are new to these terms. Right. So what is the difference? What are the role of container and codec? If you can see this video, uh, please tell me if the video is not visible to you.
Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Hi.
Mayank sir, is there any sound in the video? Because we are not able to hear anything.
Sound is there. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sound is there in the video. You are not able to hear the sound?
We can't able to hear the sound, sir, but we can able to see the video.
Sir, in the
but-
MS Teams option you have while sharing the screen, you can include the audio.
Just a minute.
While sharing the screen, you get the option for including the audio. If you click on that checkbox, then only the audio will be enabled, sir.
Okay.
Sir?
Dear participants, we request you to wait for another 5 minutes. The session will be resuming. Sir is trying to load the video again.
We will be waiting, madam. We will be waiting. Srivinay sir,
Sir? Yes, sir.
can you able to suggest some?
Yes, sir. Like if sir can, sir has to share the screen. When he
I see.
clicks on the share screen, it will ask whether should I share the entire desktop. Above that, there is one option, include system audio. While
Okay,
sharing the screen, sir can see that, sir.
I see. I see.
While I'm clicking while I'm clicking on sharing, I'm getting that screen share desktop and window only option.
Yes, sir. Above that, just above that, you can see that there is one checkbox. You have to tick that so that the system audio get enabled. While sharing the screen, before clicking on the desktop, just above that, sir.
When we click on the share, it comes the screen share desktop and window, but I'm not getting any
Sir,
checkbox right there.
Sir,
Sir, just
Mayank, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
This window, sir, see, I have opened, sir. So like this, here you can click on include system audio.
Sorry, ma'am, where? Please.
Sir, my screen is visible, sir.
No, ma'am.
no. So Mayank sir, when you click on share screen, it will ask for desktop or screen, no sir. On the
when I
just
was
above
when I
desktop.
was
So now you
Sir,
click on.
Sir, like this, see, when you're clicking on the
Vinita ma'am, your screen is not visible.
No, Mayank sir, you can do this. So when you click on share screen, sir.
When I was clicking on the share, yes, right.
Below you'll get option for sharing different, no sir, desktop, screen, like that and all.
I'm getting only one that is screen share, desktop public window, and I'm not getting any checkbox there.
No, there will be one option just above that desktop, sir. That just above that screen share, include system audio. That you have to enable it, sir. You have to check that box so that audio gets enabled.
I think I am not getting any checkbox to select from the first to the last step. When I'm selecting desktop, and it is showing that you have to select entire screen application window from tab, but I'm not getting the checkbox option.
No, sir. Before clicking the desktop option, immediately when you press that share screen button, below only you can see that, sir. Before clicking on that, before sharing the screen, you can see that option. You can just click that share screen option and see that whether it is enabled, sir.
Might be it option is come up to the only the organizers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It will be only for the organizer who is just sharing the screen. It will not be for others.
So okay, we will not. I will not take the time. I will give you the link at the end of the this
Fine.
session. You can see on it is all on the YouTube. We can continue with our presentation. My screen is visible to all.
No, sir, it's not
Is my
visible
screen
right
is
now.
visible to all?
No, sir, it's not visible. Now it's visible.
It's visible.
Yes, sir, now it's visible.
I can't make him organizer.
At the so I'm sorry for this Spanglish, because it is my first presentation on the Microsoft Teams. Sorry for that. We will continue that. We are talking about the two components we have to consider in the video, right? So first is the video container. What is video container? It is a file container that I already discussed. It is the combination of audio and video. Nowadays you are and when you are seeing the videos on the YouTube, you are getting the subtitles. So it is all the combination of anything you want to get display. So it is a video container. So example of video containers available or the containers available in the market are MP4. And most of the videos we are using are of MP4 format. Even in our mobile, when we record a video, it's mostly I think it's saved with the MP4 extension. Approximately in all the mobiles, especially in the Samsung. So MP4 is a version created by the moving picture expert group MPEG. So if we are talking about videos in the market, we have to keep consideration of the MPEG. The MPEG plays a major or important role in deciding the new latest versions, how they are talking with less data streams and all that. And the other examples might be you are aware of AVI, MOV, Flash video, Windows Media Video. So these are the container examples. So basic question comes to a student that, sir, well, I have saved the video. It is named as today's video.mp4. So mp4 is a container. It contains the original video that you have really recorded with your mobile or with any camera. So as it was mentioned in that video that if you want to transmit the original video, it will take a lot of time and it will take your bandwidth and it will take your data too. So to reduce the data, to reduce the time, to first we encode this video. Encode means for that we will be use the codec. So any transmission from one device to another, if video is transmitting, it is not transmitting into the original format. It is transmitted in the video codecs, right? So what is video? The video codec compresses or decompresses the digital video. It is basically a software. We can say that it is a software that compresses a video and that decompresses in a video. So compression is done at the sender end and decompression is done at the decoder end, at the destination end. You can also see that it converts raw digital video, that is the original video we have captured, to a compressed format and vice versa. So while encoding the video, the main constraint they are using the codec is to reduce the data size. For example, you have recorded a video of 100 MB, and if you want to send to the wireless LAN, you want to send on the any internet or any LAN, first and it will be converted into the codec, and the codec depends on the different capabilities. The capabilities of codec must be there with the original video format, right? So they are widely used in the applications that record and transmission the video. That I already said, whenever we transmit the video, the first video should be converted into the codec, as we discussed in the first slide. So different types of video codecs are H.264, H.261, the earliest video codec we have received in the market, and there are the other variation of MPEG-1, MPEG-2, MPEG-4. Nowadays, we are using H.264 AVC and SVC. So AVC, you can see in the applications that first of all, the bitrate, bitrate is 64 kbps. So it is so much lesser than the MPEG-4 and MPEG-1. If a video is transmitted from the MPEG 1, it will be of 1.5. It wants to transmit a 1.5 megabytes per second. And if we are using H.264 AVC, so it will transmit to 64 KB. So as the time goes, as the time coming, the bit rate has got to be reduced. So you can see the applications, we will mainly focus on AVC and SVC, the fifth one and sixth one. So both are useful for the video conferencing, digital video broadcasting, and the multimedia applications, right? The major constraint, the major change in this domain comes when the H.264 SVC comes. In this, you can say that the bit rate is variable. So what is it is bit rate variable? It will plays the major role in the upcoming market also. You can see here that if you have not explored, you can explore today. YouTube recommends H.264 video codecs. If you are uploading your videos on the YouTube, it recommends you to use the H.264 codec. So it is giving the choice that it can be of AVC or it can be SVC. Here you can see that recommended upload encoding settings. So if you are uploading a video, its recommended video setting is video codec H.264 and might be AVC and SVC. So the latest YouTube video, so the latest videos we are uploading, it will, if you are not choosing any settings, it will be converted to H.264 SVC. And majorly, I have only taken a snapshot of the YouTube. If you take of Amazon or Netflix or any other online platforms, even Instagram, if the video we are uploading there is encoded by and decoded by the H.264 video codec, right? So it is lot of lots of research constraint in that. So how can you reduce the bit size? How can you increase the video quality while the encryption and decryption process? So what the basically is there in a video. In a video, you have here that there is a concept of frames per second, right? It is basically saying that the standard is 30 frames per second. Even the frames, inside the frame, even in the frames, it is a concept of group of pictures. Means a frame is converted into the different frames. Yeah, if you say that a frame is a combination of 3 or 4 different types of frames. So what is the 3 or 4 different types of frame is that I frame, P frame, and B frame. Suppose if you take a video, if we are saying that we are transmitting 30 frames per second. So if I'm talking about the first frame, again, first frame consists of I frame, P frame, and B frame. What is the importance of this frame in the video codec? Because of their priority based, it plays an important role in the SVC. So first, if you talk about the one frame, this is the example of a group of pictures 9,3 of MPEG-4. 9,3 means there will be total 9 frames in a one frame, and 3 means at the displacement of 3, P frames will be there. So I am repeating, it is a group of picture 9,3. So if you are sending 30 frames per second, so in the first frame it will contain 9 frames, and in the 9 frames too, it will be there will be P frames at the displacement of third index, right? So I frame is known as intra-coded picture, P frames predictive coded picture, and B frames is by predictive coded pictures. So I will explain it more in the terms of H.264 SVC, how they play the important role and how we can use them or we can discard them. So before H.264, if we are trying to transmit the video, so we have to transmit all the frames, these 9 frames in a single frames. Right? So if we talk about it, the frame structure in H.264 SVC, how they make the video quality more robust. And now the role of iframe is it is coded as a still image. Means it is the base image. Suppose first I will give you an example. If you are viewing a news channel, so background is same. The reporter is sitting there. So he or she is reading the news. So what do you think? Can we reduce the size, or we can do anything in that? So the images of the backside will remain the same. His displacement or the anchor's displacement can be monitored and they can be converted into video. So they are doing like this in the SVC. The backgrounds remain same. If any movement is there, the movement has been captured. Right? So the iframe is there is that it is a still image. So no changes is there if in the one frame to another frame. The I image is encoded and it plays a major role. From it only your frames, first frame, second frame is started. The p-frame is that it encode the data from the previous iframes and p-frames. If p-frame is available at the backend side, it encodes the data from there, then it identifies the displacements of any object. So if the object has been displayed, if the object has been moved or any displaced from the original position, which is in the I, it will capture it. And B frame is the prediction from the previous I and pre-frames. So you are making the layer. I is the best layer. P is predicting on the I layer, and B is predicting from the I and P layer. So if you want more and more good quality, you increases the frame size in the first frame. I'm not saying that instead of 30 frames per second, you send 64 frames per second. I'm saying that in the one frame of the 30 FPS or 64 FPS, you increases the frame size. As you increases the frame size, you will get the better video quality, right? And any frame starts from the iframe. So in the HVC or AVC video codec, you can see that this table iframe, p-frame, and b-frame. The priority of the iframe is the highest, and the priority of the p is the moderate, and b is the lowest. So iframe is used as the base layer. That I already tell that first picture, first clip starts from iframe. P-frame is the base layer in enhancement layer, and b-frame is the also enhancement. Here the term enhancement layer means that how you are improving the quality of video. If you are taking more and more frames, your video quality increases. So this plays the major important role, can be discarded. I will explain why it is playing the more important role. Iframe, we cannot discard. If we discard the iframe, it totally gets out of the picture. P-frame, it can be discarded, it cannot be discarded based on the encoding scheme you are using. If you are using a less P number of frames, it cannot be discarded. If you are using a higher number of frames, the later P-frames can be discarded. B-frames, yes, B-frames you can discard. So why discarding concept is coming here? So this discarding concept is coming here that if the congestion is more, if the traffic is more, if the bandwidth is less, if the internet speed is less, the frames which are of no use, which only provides the quality enhancement, can be removed. So the best example for this is that when you are WhatsApp calling to each other, WhatsApp video calling, right? When the network is clear, when the network speed is right, you are talking continuously and without any glitches or without any jitter or without any distortion of the video. But when the traffic increases or you have the lower antenna signals, you see that your video is lacking due to the delay, or you get the distorted video. But it is not discontinue or cancelling your video call, because it is removing this enhancements layer from the video signal. If you say when in WhatsApp, you are sometimes it comes, there were poor connection is there, we are trying to reconnect. This means that even they have removed B frame, even they have removed P frame, and now the video is not possible. When at least they will receive the iframes at the underside, destination side, they can continue with the video. So as the speed is better, as the bandwidth is available, your IPv frames will be transmitted. But as the degradations comes in the bandwidth or in the speed or in the traffic congestions, automatically BP frames has been removed. This has been invented in the years of 2017 or 18 right now. So first we have to take the, if you are trying to plan anything for transmission of video, you are planning any setup or any wireless net, you must be clear about that what type of video you are going to transmit. Means according to me, you should have the two major consideration. Either video is for video streaming or it is for video conferencing. Video streaming is that YouTube, Netflix, Hotstar, Amazon Prime, anything you are getting from the video servers and you are seeing the video. Because why there? Because if you are considering for video consideration, this video streaming, so discarding of frames cannot be the solution. Even if after buffer you will get the better video quality. But when you are telling about the video conferencing, when you are one-to-one talking to with another, where the time is most important, you cannot uh, take jitter or delay as a consideration. Means you don't want the delay between a call. So if you are taking that type of video transmission, then you should aware of how we can remove P frames and B frames as the traffic increases, or we get the lower uh, wireless LAN signals. So I think it is clear for that iframes, P and B frames, they plays a major role in any video, right? And nowadays, all the streaming, all from YouTube to any Netflix, Amazon, all these are following this concept that remove P, B frames if the traffic congestion is more. Right? So majorly H.264 SVC is playing the major role in the industry. So it is a codec developed by the MPEG. I also already told earlier that the MPEG plays a major role in the domain in the industry of video. So it is the codec. This codec has been developed by the MPEG. SVC stands for scalable video coding. The first concept of removing the PB frames has been introduced by this. Scalable means according to the traffic condition, you transmit the I, P, and B frames. You can remove the PB frames or you can add the PB frames. It is the most important advantage of it. It is the back compatibility with the MPEG 4. Earlier in 2012, 13, 14, all the videos are in AVC or MPEG 4. So it is compatible with that. It has a variable bitrate that we have already discussed in that table. In this figure, I can explain you what we are telling about YouTube are using this and WhatsApp is using this concept. So when this video sequence is coming encoder, which is SVC for encode, this is decoder A and decoder B. We have encoded all the video in the format this is trace file format. Suppose, for example, decoder A and decoder B are two different destinations. Suppose decoder A is in the rural area where the network is not there, or there is a problem of bandwidth or speed, and decoder B is in the area where the transmission speed has no issues, right? So the decoder of A will only decode the base layer. Base is often the traffic congestion. On base layer means the I layer. While the decoder B, which is having good bandwidth, good transmission signals, will decode a high quality video. You can see that the base layer, then enhancement layer 1, enhancement layer 2, and till N. So this concept plays an important role, and due to this only, we are able to doing the video conferencing, this Meet through this Microsoft also. As the traffic congestion increases, they start reducing the enhancement layer. While in earlier years, was like you are sending n number of enhancement layers, you have to decode n number of enhancement layers. If it is not going to decode, it will give an error, or not miss error. It will not be visible to the user. Right? So one question can come to you, sir. How many enhancement layers you can have in the video? It depends on the encoder scheme. It is an area of research. You can have 10 number of enhancement layers. It proportionally depends on number of iframes and P frames you are using in a frame. See, this is the example I want to show you. In this YouTube, when we are click on these settings, it gives that in which pixels you want to see 720, 480, 360, 240, 144, and auto. Right. So if you are selecting 720 pixels, means you are using more and more enhancement layers. If you are using 480 pixels, you are using less enhancement layers. As the your goes to the 144 pixels, you are using the less and less enhancement layers. And auto means that it will automatically sense the traffic congestion bandwidth. If it is available, it will transmit high quality video. If it is not available, it will discard the enhancement layers and it will transmit the video. So you can see that YouTube is popularly using this SVC or AVC concept, that it can be discarded the enhancement layers if it is not required. So in our topic in the video transmission of wireless LAN, we have covered basic terms you get aware of video, what the video means video codec. We have to transmit different available codecs, SVC. YouTube is supporting SVC, and YouTube is recommending that you use the SVC H.264 codec. Now our major focus on the wireless LAN. It is on basis on the means traffic signal, traffic congestion, what is the bandwidth available, right? Might be this video will not play, so I'm escaping this slide. Wireless LAN. So what is wireless LAN? It connects two or more devices through the wireless medium, right? So if I think every one of you who are at home or at any premises, you connected with this, connected to the Microsoft meeting, you are all connected in a wireless LAN. Either you are connected with mobile, your laptop, or any device, you are connected to the wireless LAN. This connects devices to move around in its coverage area. You in any wireless LAN, you have an access point through which you are getting the internet, and you have a wireless station, a wireless node through which you are connecting to the access point. You are viewing it on your mobile, so your mobile is also working as a wireless LAN. Also working as a station which is directly communicating to the tower. So at that, in perspective of that communication, your tower is considered as an access point. So any device connected to the wirelessly connected to the internet, right? They have to follow a protocol that is IEEE 802.11. It is a basic protocol defined by IEEE standard through which you can connect it to the Bluetooth, Ethernet, or wireless. If you are connecting to the wireless device connecting through a wireless, it is using the protocol of IEEE 802.11. So mainly my focus, mainly to transmission the video. We are focusing on the MAC layer of the medium access control layer of the wireless LAN. So it is a part of 802.set local area LAN. We have already discussed. We will have a look on the MAC layer, how MAC layer is working on any devices and how it can be enhanced to get the better video quality. So there are the different wireless standards available in the market: 802.11 A, B, G, N, and AC. Right. Various other standards are coming nowadays. There are rumors that AX will capture the market soon. So nowadays the N and AC is playing in the market, right? So it is a home wireless network concept. So any device connected wireless to the access point is having is following the protocol 802.11. Suppose we talk about this TV, might be it is of version N, might be this computer taking the version of AC, might be this printer taking the concept of E. Versions may be different, but they have to be, it is compulsory to follow the protocols developed by the IEEE 802.11. 11 stands for wireless LAN. Right? So I have taken this snapshot to make aware you that you are all having the wireless LAN protocols inside you. Suppose we are talking about the Samsung Galaxy JN Score. Then while you are seeing the specification, in every of the mobile and the laptop or any access point you are taking Wi-Fi router or anything, there is something there is something term always mentioned there, Wi-Fi standard supported. So if I'm talking about Samsung Galaxy J7, which I was having in 2016 or 17, it is saying that it supported IEEE 802.11 BGN. Always the last one is the latest version. All are the back compatibility, right? So any device, any laptops you are taking, it is the Wi-Fi standard. You can check to whom it was supporting. And Apple iPhone 6 is all. It is, I think, it is 2016 or 17 model. So it also supports the N version, Wi-Fi standard supported. Now, if I think that I currently purchased Samsung Galaxy M31, you can see that it is supporting A, B, G, and AC. So means AC has been introduced in the market. AC is standard, right? Latest iPhone 11 also has supported AC. So iPhone and the Samsung Galaxy M31 is launched in February only. So the latest version that was been used in the market is AC. And iPhone 11 also, I think, introduced in this year only. Mainly this Fire Stick, you have heard that Amazon Fire Stick. It also supports the Wi-Fi connectivity with the AC. So the latest trend in the market is Wi-Fi 802.11 AC. So if you want to do research or if you want to do any study, you should go with the AC standard. This I have taken for laptop, so you can get familiar. While when you select choose any devices, you should show that which Wi-Fi it supports. Because now if you take the device supporting only N, it will be tough for you to getting higher speed in the future. So when 5G will come, AC and AX will play the important role. Right? So what is the logical architecture of IEEE 802.11? The major, they follows the basic TCP/IP OSI rule. Majorly, they enhance the mechanism at the logical link control and the MAC layer. At the physical layer also, we cannot do anything, or it is a part of electronics part. So mainly, we will focus on the medium access control. How they try to increase the transmission speed and video quality. So the MAC layer is the lower part of the data link layer. Its main aim is to provide the channel access. So to communicate with other stations and to avoid collision. What this means that suppose from an access point, when you are going to your college, you are using the college Wi-Fi. If 4 or 5 candidates, 5 students are connected with the same Wi-Fi, and you all at the same time wants to transmit a video, transmit any data, anything data you want to transmit. So it is not that all are getting parallel communication. Up to some extent, it follows the concept of MIMO, multiple input, multiple output. But it has also limitation that it can support 5 parallel transmission. Then what about the 6th one? So all this collision, all this gaining the communication part is done by the MAC layer. So it plays an important role. We have to take over of the MAC layer to get the better quality of the video. How we will discuss later. So basically, if we talk about the traffic in the wireless domain is considered to be divided into the 4 types. It is a standard. It has been divided by the 802.11 standard. So they have divided. They have classified the traffic into the 4 parts. First is voice data. If we are calling through any VoIP, so it gets the first priority. Second is video quality, video data. Third is the best effort. Best effort is that we are chatting or we are texting each other. We are surfing on the Google. We are writing the mail. It is known as the best effort data. And background data is that you are downloading. You have kept downloading a book of 60 MB. So it is downloaded at the backside. Now see that video data has get the second priority, while voice data has get the first priority. So if I take the example, 3 students are communicating, we are transmitting data. One is one is calling over the internet. Second, I want to be I'm viewing the YouTube channel, and second is surfing with another one. So if the transmission path has to be given, has to be allowed among the 3 of us, it will be first allocated to the voice data. The person who is using, transmitting the data related to the voice. Then second, I will get the chance to transmit the data. And then third, the student who is surfing test messaging will get the effort. So if you can see that if the transmission is done with the voice data, we are getting the second priority. So if we are getting the second priority, and if we are considering the video conferencing, now the important role plays that you are taking the video streaming, that is you are viewing the video on the YouTube, or you are video calling, video conferencing. So if you are doing the video conferencing, so it is similar as of voice data, but it has been given as the second priority. So how to overcome this? How can we modify the protocols in the MAC? We will show that. Now we will take a look upon. Right? So first of all, in earlier days when the Wi-Fi really exists, come in the industry, there is a buffer. Means all the data transmissions are converted into frame. Frame is coming in the buffer, and all the buffers are accumulating, all the frames are accumulating in a queue buffer, and as the station gets the time to transmit the data, it transmits the data. So we have already discussed that we have considered yeah, we have classified the traffic into the 4 data types. So in this example, I am telling that video traffic, blue is for video, green is for best effort, and red is for background traffic. All the traffic is accumulating in a single buffer. So you have no chance to give the priority to any other data. So it is queue, means first in first out. If the data background traffic comes first, it will be transmitted first, then only the video traffic. So it was the concept in IEEE version, first version introduced by the Wi-Fi. So we doesn't have any option to choose the priority, to select the priority, or to transmit the data rather than a single queue. So to overcome this, in the latest versions of E, G, and AC, they have converted, they have instead of using only one buffer, they have used 4 buffers to accumulate different types of data. So this is the example. You can see this is the animation. You can see the voice data is coming. Now the video data has come. Why these are getting accumulated in the buffer? Because this station is not getting the transmission rights. The video data is dependent on the voice data. Now they are transmitting the best effort and the background data. Among it, you get a video frames too, but it will now, even having the second priority, it gets queued in buffer queue before the best effort in the background data. So till this frames will not transmitted, video data will not be transmitted. And the disadvantage of this is that it will get expires at the end of the source, because it is there something. If you want to see the video in continuity, you get a frame in this such x microseconds, millisecond. If you are not receiving the successive frame in milliseconds at the destination, it will be of no use. You will see that the video glitch is there, right? So video data is waiting along with the non-critical, non-time critical data. Then if the queue overflows, your data is getting dumped and it cannot be retransmitted. But it is all with the legacy in the earlier versions. Right? Now this concept has come. This concept has come that now they have made the 4 different priority queues: voice, video, best effort, and background. So first of all, they will get a chance for the voice, then video, then background effort, best effort, and then background traffic. Suppose in this also they have set a contention window, means the time for which a queue gets. Here, the time window for the voice is more than the time window for the video, then the time video for the best effort, and the time video for background. Right? Again, in this you can use, if you see, suppose voice is not using, right? Voice video is not been using. Generally, we are now do the video calls or video conferencing, or you're surfing the videos. But till this end version, it not allows you to use the other buffers. But in AC, they allows you to use the other buffers too. When if they are empty for a particular time. After that, you can only use that buffers. So this is the parameters I have discussed, the contention window. Lower the value of contention mean and contention max, higher the time they get to transmit the data. There are some technical terms. So you can see the animation of how this how this different data has been distributed among the different buffers and how they are transmitted. These video frames are coming and they are going into the video buffers. And this animation is made in assuming that this station is not getting to time to transmit the data. suppose now it gets the transmission types. So first of all, it will empty the voice video, voice queue, then it will transmit the video frames. But as the contention window gets closed, it cannot transmit all of the video, so it's one frame remains there. Now it gives time to the best.
Voice is breaking, sir.
Close the video.
Not able to hear.
Now it is audible. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir.
audible, sir.
So here you can see that what the major problems come with us. Major problem comes that 1 minute. When the video queue gets overflow, our different video frames are getting dumped, and we have to again re-enable. So time consuming, and the time is not we can spend on getting the video conferencing. Even if the other queues are free, our video frames are getting dumped, or it means it has been discarded. So what we can do, or what AC has introduced, that if the other buffers are free for a particular time period, you can use that buffers for the video transmission too. For that, it is a mechanism that it has been converted into the video queue, and it is treated as a it gets the priority as the video queue, right? So what we have research is majorly a research topic, that even if we are transmitting the videos from the video frames from the video queue, even we are getting the time delay because it is set for a particular time. That for a particular time, if buffer is free, or we have to get the we have to get or discarded the video frames in the video buffer if it is get full. So in the cross-layer mapping, what the concept has come, that if you are transmitting the video, we have already discussed that in the video there are majorly 3 frames playing important role: I frame, P frame, and B frame. So if the video congestion is more, or you are getting the less time to transmit the data, what we can do is that we can transmit the I frame from the video queue. We can transmit the free frame. As the priorities goes less of the frames, we can transmit these different frames from the different queues. From this concept, we can meaning of scalable video codec of SVC comes true. Means you can scale the different frames to different buffers, so that if the traffic congestion is more, you will get you will discard the B frames from the lower background. At least your I frames get the priority to reach the destination. Right? So in AC wireless standard, all this concept I have told, that is cross-layer mapping, then different buffer queues have been introduced. Along with this, major reform that they have introduced in the wireless AC standard is aggregation, frame aggregation. So what is frame aggregation? We are going to take in the new next slides. So there are two basic frame aggregation schemes: AMS-PDU and AMPDU. First is aggregated make protocol service unit and aggregate make protocol data unit. So why the aggregation concept has come in this AC standards, in any standard? While you are transmitting a single frame, when you transmit a frame, you have the headers with it. When it was received at destination, he has to send the acknowledge to the sender. Then only he transmit the other frames. So to reduce the overhead of these headers and other source address, destination address, and the acknowledgement transmissions between the user and destination, they combine number of frames in a single unit and transmit as a whole with a one MAC header and one acknowledgement. Right? So they basically reduce the overheads there of this source address, logic, destination address, and acknowledgement data types. I can explain this with that. Suppose you are transmitting 100 frames, for example, and of 100 frames, you have 10 bytes of each the header files and like source address and destination address. So if 100 frames you are transmitting 1000 bytes extra. So instead of transmitting 1000 bytes, you accumulate all the 100 frames in a one frame. You have to add only a header, one header, one source address, one destination. So 1000 bytes, you can reduce up to the 100 bytes. So basically, it will reduce your throughput. So this is the structure. MSD, different frames are there. They can accumulate at a single frame with a single MAC header, and with the physical header, with the same single physical header, it can be transmitted. If you are going to the concept of MSDU, so then it is the maximum length you can, maximum size of the frame can be 11454 bytes. It is a standard size decided by the AC. And if the MPDU, what is MSDU and MPDU? You can search more. And if you want to transmit the data through the MPDU, right? You can transmit 10,48,575 bytes at a time with the same header and with the same physical header. So it will drastically reduce your different overheads you transmit with the data. And the basic concept in MSDU and MPDU is that if you are transmitting between single source, single destination, you can use MSDU. And if you are traveling data from one end to another and using the another access point, another source, another intermediate, you have to use the MPDU. So this, it is a great concept introduced by the IEEE 802.8n version. It reduces the overhead, it increases the speed, it increases the throughput, it increases approximately everything. But if we take it in consideration for the video, so it has some limitation while transmitting the video through the frame aggregation concept. Right? If we are collecting 100 frames and transmitting 100 frames at a single unit, suppose first or second frame gets delayed or it cannot be encoded, it cannot be decoded at the other side, whole frame will have to be transmitted. So we have such constraints there that all the frames has to be encoded at the same place. The time required for the frame aggregation is must. The time requirement means while we are accumulating all the frames in a single header, the time is required at the source end. Less number of frames, it is generally from the observation, it has been observed that the less number of frames is suitable. If you aggregate as per the AC or N rules, standards, the first 2-3 frames get discarded at the end of the destination. Right. So how this aggregation scheme is working, all this is the digital, video data, and all these are frames coming from the buffer. In the earlier example, all the frames are directly transmitting from the queue to the physical layer and through the physical layer to the wireless meter. While here, all the frames are getting in a single unit, that is AMPDU. First, they will form AMPDU frame, then it will get the transmitted. You can see the animation. So it is getting accumulating to become an AMPDU. So it's taking the time, while in the earlier example, it is continuously transmitting from the source end. As the constructed, it has been transmitted. So you can see that the first 2-3 frames are getting delayed while completing the full aggregation frame. This aggregation process is taking time because meanwhile might be voice queue or video queue or background queue is getting the time. So in this example, you can see that while aggregating, the first 2 frames are of no use. Why it cannot be decoded if you are doing the video conferencing or video calling. This is the connection factor. We can discuss it again. So this figure we have already discussed in the first slide. Now again, when the original video we have captured, you send, it will be encoded, then it converted into a trace file that will be transmitted from one end to another end. It goes to the access point via Wi-Fi router, anything. It is continuously transmitting to your device location address. Right. At the destination address, the trace file has been converted as a whole. Now might be this. Now, the performance analysis, if you want to perform the, you want to analyze as a technical person, yeah, how the video we are receiving is quality wise. You can receive at the trace file also, because the in the sender tracer file, it was clear that how much data, how much frames has been sent to you and how much frames you are receiving this side. Right. So this trace file is, sorry for 1 minute, might be, my screen is visible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One
Yes, sir.
might
Yes,
be
sir.
due to I. So it is not playing the animation again. Also, after receiving a trace file, it is pass on to the SVC video decoder. If you are using SVC video decoder, it decodes the video, right? And it is again reconstructed video which we displayed, which we see in our mobile and laptop. So this is the 2-3 parameters: the end-to-end delay, jitter, packet delivery ratio. And if you want to actually verify the quality of video at the end, at the destination and with the source end, you can calculate it using the PSNR value of both the videos. Right? Video quality by PSNR. For that, you should have the original video with you and the reconstructed video with you at your end. So some research issues is that in this whole transmission of video is how can you reduce delays in the video transmission to cope up with the real traffic. As the traffic means congestion increases, the video quality degrades. And so how to maintain the video quality even if the traffic increases, to provide better multimedia quality of service than to adjust the frame aggregation time. It is the most researchable topic, because if you are adding more and more frames, your starting frames are getting discarded at the receiver side. To minimize the video compression, that it is of in the domain of video codec. Research on 802.11x. The the specialist versions or the Wi-Fi standard says that in the upcoming years, the all AN and AC will be replaced by the AX. I have video for here, but due to some, I think audio will not be audible. So I will share the links of these videos and many more research issues in this. One minute. While it works, my PPT, the major constraints, major after this all presentation comes in the students. So we will do, we will study, we will work on that. Will we get job in this domain or not in the India or in the outside, right? It is a major common question of all the students, of all the researchers, even our MTech student asks, can we get job based on this topic in the market? Because the market is for developer, Python, machine learning, data analysis. I will explain you, I will show you the job opportunities too in this domain. First of all, simulators. If you want to try, if you want to practice on that, how the video is transmission, how can we handle the frame aggregation, how can we handle the video codecs, how can we visualize the transmission of video from one end to another end and analyzing the different parameters. There are the various simulators. The mainly common simulators are NS2, NS3, OpNet. NS2 and NS3 is widely used over the research domain, and it is open source. You can freely access it. Another is OpNet, OmNet. So these are the simulators in which you can make your own wireless LAN, and you can transmit not only the video data, others data also. You can analyze the MAC layer working, physical layer working, and all other components of 802.11 versions. So I am telling about the career opportunities. This Sunday only I take this snapshot. I only type that you can see the jobs in the video codec. You can see that you have 1544 video codec jobs. Look, you can try. This is, I have take the snapshot from the, this is the Google. you can search on your end also either the jobs is available or not. So if you will see, if you will search the jobs for the video transmission over wireless LAN, yeah, anything like that, you will not get the better job option. You have to either choose on the basis on the video codecs or video compression, decompression, or either based on the wireless LAN. Right? So you can search of yourselves too that either the job is available or not in this. Yes, definitely the job is available. And I assure you that if the 100 students are preparing for their placements or jobs, one or two might be, I'm adding a point might be, or I'm adding a star to it, is applying as a fresher student, I am telling, applying for these jobs. So the chances of getting selecting, if you are having the knowledge as a fresher, is more in the opportunities like video codecs and wireless LAN. So this, I have searched for the video codec, you can see. This I have searched for the career opportunities in wireless LAN. You can see you have more than 1700 jobs for the wireless LAN. Even it is showing that 53 wireless jobs in the Bangalore, right? Thank you. If you have, you can connect me on my mail, LinkedIn, and ResearchGate if you want any research topic or any queries to be solved based on it. Thank you from my side. If you have any queries, you can tell me.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, if any of you have queries, you can raise your hand and you can ask the query. I will enable you to ask the queries.
Hello? Hello?
Yes,
sir,
sir,
yes,
you
sir.
can ask. Yes, sir, you can ask.
Sir, actually in wireless, if you increase the scalability, many number of users are accessing it in wireless. So in that situation, how the compress technique will be reach and will be more effective, sir? Hello?
Mayank, sir, you're audible, sir.
Hello?
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir. You can ask the question, sir.
Sir, hello? Hello?
Sir, you can ask the question, sir.
Yeah, I'm asking. So, very nice presentation, sir. Regarding that, if you more number...
Shanmugratnam sir, 1 minute, please. Vinita ma'am, sir is logged. I think his network issue, and he just gone out from the session. Can you allow him to come again?
Yeah, sure, ma'am, sure.
Dr. Mayank, sir.
Dear participants, sir is rejoining in few minutes. He had a network issue. He's rejoining. Please give few minutes.
Hello, I'm audible now. Hello.
Hello.
I'm
Yes,
audible
sir.
now.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir. Shanmugratnam, I think you can post your query.
Yeah. Sir, very nice presentation, sir. Actually, I have one question there. In wireless network, if we increase the more number of scalability, more number of user, if it is in wireless network, how can we achieve the video transmission, sir? Actually, when you do the compression techniques or whatever your techniques are there, but if we increase more number of scalability, many number of users, how can you achieve this one, sir?
Sir. For this, first of all, the AN and AC are using the MIMO technology, multiple input, multiple output. So they have some capabilities to accept parallel transmission up to X number of devices. Even if that the devices increases, and if you have a priority of video, so we have to do something at the MAC layer. So it transmits only the video data. And as if you are trying, if you are having any we can say that setup for ourselves only, customized setup. During the customized setup, you can have the option that the video transmission has to be get the video most priority. If the video is transmitting, first allow that traffic, but you are not have the customized wireless LAN setup for you, and it is
Yes.
also public Wi-Fi or that. So so it is a major research issue is that the how to get the better video quality. Might be to continue the video quality, you can remove the base layers, or you have to work on the basic concepts of the MIMO. While as the new concept is coming that as MIMO will also be scalable according to the network congestion. If more the network congestion, it will reduce the allocated bandwidth to the users. So it can accumulate more and more users to the network.
Actually, now at present the research I read that one in Cisco latest device is there, sir. Actually, to achieve more number of user to accessibility to increase that one, even compress technique to achieve that one also it is there, sir. But just I want to know that one, what is the device? Any other Cisco device or any other company is producing that best of effective of scalability to achieve the video compression. That's why I asked.
Sir, can I play a video for you? But it will be mute. I know that device, and I will also mention that device in my video too. But it will be mute. I am not getting the option to check that. So please see a video. I am sharing that video.
Sir, if you can share that video with Vinita ma'am, I think she can be able to.
Yeah, we will take it. Link will take it. No problem, sir. We will
what will I will do? I will, yes. 1 minute.
Sir, if you can share the video with me, I can play it right now itself.
Okay. I'm sharing the link in the chat box.
Okay. So second question, sir. Same thing like here, the frames, all the things what you are explaining, in the same concept, HDLC protocol, can you achieve the compress technique, sir?
Sorry, can you pardon, sir? Hello.
Yeah, HDLC protocol is there. Especially we used in MAC layer. So can you compress this technique can be used on HDLC protocol, sir?
HEVC.
HDLC.
Yes, sir, you can do it, sir.
Because same like a frame, we are using 3 type of frame also. We are using HDLC. So can we achieve this?
Yes, sir. First, you can, but first you have to simulate your side, sir. First. 1 minute. I am sharing this video link. 1 minute.
Isto 71. Maybe only it will.
Yeah, I'll message the link on the meeting chat.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. I will share it in a few minutes. In the meantime, Nandita Hedji ma'am has a question. So I will, she can ask the question. Ma'am, you can ask your question, ma'am. Nandita ma'am.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇತ್ತು.
Nandita ma'am.
Nandita ma'am, it seems she's not having any doubt. Any other participants? If you have any question, please you can ask. You can raise the hand and ask the question. Okay, it seems we are not having any question. Thank you, sir, for this informative session. And we apologize for the technical issues in between to you and to all the participants.
No, it's really nice to have this talk with you and to give this session to all the participants. If you have any query, you can contact ma'am or contact me through the mail. Right? Okay, thank you to all.
Sir, thank you, sir.
And
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Now I would like to request Dr. Miss Vinita Dominic, Assistant Professor, CS Department, to give away the vote of thanks for the session.
Vinita madam.
I request, dear participants, I'll be sharing the video. So after the video, I will render the vote of thanks. So in a few seconds, I will play the video. Dear participants, I will share the link of the video so that all of you can watch the video. So on behalf of Presidency University, IEEE Student Branch, the Presidency University, today I would like to thank Dr. Mayank Patel for giving his valuable time and insights on the webinar. Dear sir, I strongly apologize for the technical glitches that had happened. Then I would like to thank our Chancellor sir, Nizar Ahmed sir, our Vice Chancellor ma'am Radha ma'am, our dear HOD sir and Dr. Tivakaran sir for giving us the support to render this webinar successfully. Last but not the least, I would also thank my colleague, Ms. Shaleen Bhatnagar ma'am, for coming up with this webinar and helping us get valuable insights on transmission, on video transmission over the line. So the feedback form will be shared with all of you after the session. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.